Good afternoon and welcome to Funny Like a Clown podcast. It is episode 14th, February 28th, 2019. I am your host, Dennis Wirth, and as always, Funny Like a Clown podcast is brought to you by G Vegas Buffalo Sauce for the spicy, sweet, savory taste of game time. There is only one G Vegas available at gvegas.webs.com, and it's a special edition afternoon show today, and I feel like a kid again because we're going to talk about a subject we all grew up on, the Three Stooges. And to do that, I have on the phone Curly's grandson, Brad Server. Brad, welcome to the show.
Hey, hold on a second, Dennis. I'm just getting finished up in the shower. Oh, nice and clean. How you doing there? Fighting like a clown guy?
It runs in the family, I see. Okay.
Oh, certainly.
Slightly it does, but so take us back to the beginning. I mean, did you're Curly Neal's grandson? I mean, did you ever meet him, or was the time lapse you didn't, or
Well, first of all, it wasn't Curly Neal. It was Curly Howard.
Curly Howard? I'm sorry, too many Curlys going around.
Yeah, there's a lot of Curlys out there, but no one quite as famous as my grandfather, or more liked, I would say. But yeah, so let me take you back. I'll get my register down to my normal voice. It's great to be on your show. I appreciate being here and having your listeners listen to a little bit of what it's like to be the grandson of one of the greatest comedians of all time, and one of the, like I said, one of the most liked probably men in the world. But yeah, a little timeline. Curly unfortunately passed in 1952, and I was born in 1965, so I didn't get a chance to meet him.
Okay, so what were some of the stories you heard from family members about him?
Yeah, well, you hear a lot of, he's not the outgoing and the crazy man that you see on stage wasn't what it was like at the home life. He was a very quiet, somewhat shy man that liked to spend his time at home with his dogs. He had a love for animals and dogs in particular. And he just, he put on his, when it was go time and the cameras are rolling, he put on an amazing show. But, he liked his cigars and he liked women. He liked to go out and party a little bit, but really enjoyed being at home and spending time with his brothers, Shemp and Mo, and spending time with Larry and their family. But really was a little more subdued than maybe what you would think. He wasn't the crazy...
Right, it was a character he did, right. The Stooges were a character he did. It wasn't his real personality, but what were some of the stories that family members told you growing up about him that you remember?
Well, really there wasn't a lot of stories to be told. Kind of the interesting part about my story is, my mother was 3 when my grandparents divorced, so she had a new father. So my grandmother remarried when my mom was 3, and then Curly passed when my mom was 14. So when we came into the picture, we had a new grandfather. So there really wasn't a lot of discussion about Curly or what my mom's experiences were like having Curly as a father, because she was young and she had a new father. So we weren't told. The interesting part is we weren't even told for, I think I was 6 and my brother was 10, before we even knew that Curly was our grandfather.
Really? So at what age did it hit you that you realized that you were part of something special?
Well, I think even at an early age, before we knew that we were the grandchildren, we were performing makeshift musicals at the age of 3 or 4 for our family, and we were doing Roger Hammerstein, some of the great musicals, and putting on some pretty good productions considering that we were so young.
Right.
My brother was an accomplished piano player, and we were hamming it up and just kind of how that embedded in us to be performing. And it wasn't until the one night after my brother went to his first Broadway show with my grandmother, he said he wanted to be an actor after he saw the show at the age of 10. And she's all, well, I'll let you know, acting does run in our family. Your biological grandfather, Curly, is And so,
Now, did you know who the Three Stooges were when she said that?
oh yeah, we were coming home and watching the Stooges as fans.
Okay.
So it was just blew us away. I mean, our idol, our hero was Curly, and then come to find out, just out of the blue that he's our grandfather. It was a lot to take in, and it was something that basically who's gonna believe you after you've been watching the Stooges with your friends?
Yeah, you go to school. Yeah, sure, yeah, right.
Yeah, you ain't it. And back then I didn't have this register. It just all of a sudden came to me as I matured. My voice went higher when I got older, not lower.
So that was one of the questions. So you were already performing before you knew he was your grandfather, so you didn't feel any pressure on you to have to perform or have to carry on the tradition?
No, and at a younger age, like I said, since we had a new grandfather and my grandmother and my mother knew that our grandfather that we had could never fill the shoes of Curly, so we were told not to talk about it at home. And then it was something that we didn't talk about really at school because people weren't going to believe us anyways.
Right.
So there really wasn't much pressure. Amongst ourselves, we talked about it, maybe our close friends.
Yeah.
And then really there was, as I grew going through grade school and college, there was family litigation going on. Out of respect for my mother, I was crazy. I was doing crazy stuff, but she didn't want me to bring attention to that Curly was her grandfather.
But did you ever think privately in your head that I'd want to do it?
I really wasn't thinking about personally being a performer. I knew that I loved being the main focus of attention. I loved to get people's attention. My brother, on the other hand, was an accomplished actor, singer. He's a musical director, so he kind of got that part of his DNA at a younger age. I, of course, got it later on. It was, almost 15 years ago when really I started going to Three Stooge fan club meetings on the East Coast, meeting the fans, and I really knew that I needed to kind of be the ambassador for my grandfather and embraced it full-heartedly. The love that these fans have for the Stooges is just incredible.
Sure, they still got quite the following, yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of my coming out. Not as a closet there, Dennis.
A different kind of coming out, right?
A different kind of coming out.
But I mean, do you have any cool memorabilia kicking around? Because I mean, I collect stuff of my heroes and stuff. Do you have any cool stuff of his from?
Yeah, I've had a few pieces that were handed down that my mother gave me. That it's some pictures from their wedding, pictures when my grandparents were engaged and she was showing off her engagement ring. I have about 4 or 5 pieces that are special and that are kind of family owned.
Personal items, right?
I do have a very large collection, but most of the stuff I had to buy just like most of the listeners and like you did.
All right, and I want to talk about, there's also a museum in Ambler, Pennsylvania, you can see by appointment?
The Stoogium is one of the most impressive, if not the only Three Stooge museum in the U.S. It's a couple stories. It's got thousands of artifacts dating back from the great-grandparents to even us. And any listener or anyone that has the opportunity that's anywhere near Philadelphia and the outskirts, you have to go to the Stoogium because it's just an unbelievable showcase of Stooge memorabilia.
Something you got put on your bucket list to see right there. Why do you think the Three Stooges are so popular personally? I mean, to me it was where you had Facebook and MySpace, they were both battling it out. MySpace went technical and Facebook kept it simple, and Facebook won out because it was simple. I mean, for me, the Stooges, they were just simple. You didn't have to think about it. It was flat out funny. But why do you think the legacy just lives on forever?
Well, I just think it's timeless comedy, and I think there was the Little Rascals, there was the Three Stooges, there was Laurel and Hardy, there was a bunch of acts that were going on in the baby boomer era and prior. There's just something about the Three Stooges, and I thought this even before Curly was my grandfather. Curly, his boyish charm and what he brought to that group really is it's very unique. And And the other Stooges, when Great Uncle Shemp was in the episodes, he brought his own flavor. The other Curlys brought their own flavor. But I think that Curly Howard just brought something that drew you in because of his charm, his charisma, and then of course their version of slapstick was so physical that whether you're a kid or you were an adult, it was just infectious. It's fun.
They each brought something different, and it turned into a great mix.
Absolutely, and really, it's even beyond their abilities as actors and doing what they did. Jules White and the producers and the writers that thought of these skits that they did, and you see some of it when you go back and watch them over, and you see some of the placement of signs and placement of how they did what they did was pure genius. So I think I give a ton of the credit to them, and just having the people they chose for the Three Stooges, it's just a match made in heaven.
All right, so talking about it running the family, I know you've done a few things, and I'll say a few things, and you tell me what's going on with them. You're known for No Census, No Feeling, Exorcism at 60,000 Feet, and Big Baby. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, well, 2017 was a busy year for me. I was actually in my first two feature films. The first one was a smaller part where I had a opening scene role where I did a stunt. I had one line, but it got my feet wet into seeing what a movie production is like, and I really enjoyed it. I love being in front of the camera. And then Exorcism at 60,000 Feet, I had a bigger role that actually is coming out this year, and that's a lot of fun. That's like Exorcist meets Airplane. It's just a horror comedy. It's crazy. I think the viewers are gonna enjoy it. And then in between all of that, I've just been doing a lot of YouTube video content, which they can go to Curly G, which is short for Curly's grandson, see some of the stuff we're doing. And most recently, we just started a Three Stooges live show where we're basically touring the U.S., doing some of the traditional skits.
Really?
We're adding music and dance, and it's
What's
really,
the response been to that?
Oh, it's been absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
We've basically got crowds of we have older people, we have a mix of younger, we have children that are coming to the shows.
Oh, sure.
And they're basically they're staying for Q&As and lining up for hours after just to take pictures and say, thank you for bringing back a piece of time that has been forgotten to some degree.
They're reliving their childhood, sure.
Yeah, and bringing back the laughter. I mean, right now, things aren't that funny. There's not a lot of funny stuff going on. So being able to escape and go to a time and laugh again is being...
Because there's a lot of comics now where you got to think about the comedy. And, you work all day. You don't want to come home and think about your comedy. You just want it to be funny. You don't want to do more thinking. You think at work, right? But you're also an accomplished drummer. Tell us a little bit about being a drummer. What's in your music history?
Well, yeah, that was something that I picked up prior to I was living in San Diego. My father unfortunately passed away when I was 15. I moved in with my mother. I didn't know anybody. I moved to a new city, so I rented a drum set and just started, playing to the radio. And a friend, some neighbor, we became close friends, came by and heard me playing, wanted to check me out. He was playing drums a little bit. Well, come to behold, this guy that we became friends, he moved in with me. He started building his drum set. We played together, and he wound up going to Hollywood and invited us to go to his first show. Looked on the marquee, and it said Rat, said Poison, said Cinderella, and then right below it says opening act, Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
So the guy that I lived with that said he wanted to be a rock and roll drummer was living in the streets, didn't have a dime to his name, but had the
will.
I want to be this, I want to do this. So he influenced me to play a little more, and so I don't get that many opportunities. I mean, if a musician comes over, someone I can play an instrument, I'll have a couple beers and we'll jam and do some freelance. But I'm looking forward to kind of taking the next step. Since I've done a little movies, I'm doing live performances now on the stage. I think the next step is to be in a
You're full time, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so I know you're doing a lot to keep the Stooges' memory alive. You already talked about, but you're part of the Grand Stooges on the internet, along with Darian and Andrea Server, who help you out with that. Tell us a little about the website you got going on.
Yeah, the Grand Stooges website is a pretty nice landing spot for the listeners and the fans, basically to see some pretty good photos. I mean, some of them are unique and family photos dating from the past, and then a lot of the photos are from the fan events where we love to take pictures with the fans and post those pictures, so they'll always be there. There's also bioses and just a lot of good stuff that the fans can get a taste of, who the Grand Stooges are. The Grand Stooges in this is my brother, my sister, and I. But, there's other Stooge family members that are still around and that we're friends with, and they have grandchildren too. So, really, the Grand Stooges branches out to other Stooge family members as well.
So now, is it your daughter Elizabeth, who's the great-granddaughter?
That's correct.
And does she realize who she's a part of, or?
Yeah, absolutely. When I first started going to the fan club meetings in about 2008, Lizzie was she was born in 2000, so she was 8. So I brought her with me, and she was young then, and it was just all fun. It was fun for her, right? And she was having a great time. But she went to probably 4 or 5 of those events, and yeah, she's an 18-year-old now, and I don't think that right now that she's that's the top of her list is to be watching the Stooges are talking about it, but
not carrying on the tradition, no.
Yeah, she's the great granddaughter, and I'll be passing the torch to her. Unfortunately, I don't have a son to pass the Howard genes on, but my daughter will be representing me when I'm in heaven someday with the boys.
So carrying on the tradition, there you go. I know they recently did some movies about the Three Stooges, some major movies. They brought them back with new characters and stuff. I mean, what were your feelings on that, and was your family consulted about that at all, or?
Yeah, the most recent one in 2012, the Fairley Brothers movie, The Three Stooges, I thought they did a very, very good job. The Three Stooges hadn't been touched because it was pretty much taboo because of the essence of the Three Stooges, that you weren't going to or didn't want to try to reenact it because it would probably be a disaster. But Peter and Bobby Fairley were fans for many, many years, and they spent years writing that story. So it really was written well. The boys that did Will Sasso and Sean Hayes and the rest of the gang and Chris, they did a great job.
You were happy with it, yeah?
I was very happy with it, and there was a lot of fans that said, "Oh, they were terrible. They're not Mo. They're not Curly. They're not them." They really weren't trying to be them. They're not trying to replace them.
Right.
It's really a
tribute, yeah.
50 years later, someone's doing a movie paying tribute to the boys, and that's really all it was. And to get a new generation to see the Stooges, to see slapstick, so I was quite impressed.
And they say the highest form of flattery is impression, right? So I mean, if they're impressed.
Absolutely.
All right, so you mentioned the fans. We got a few fans of Funny Like a Clown podcast who wrote in about the Stooges. You want to take a few fan questions?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, I'll say what they wrote in, and you just tell me if you remember it and your opinion on it if you do, okay?
Sure.
All right, Mike Hogan writes in, Dizzy Doctors.
Dizzy Doctors is a great short, absolutely.
Okay.
That was one of his favorites? Is that what he said?
Yeah, that was his favorite that he did. I mean, do you remember the skit? Yeah?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great one.
All right. Dana Friedman wrote in, hawk me a cynic while you're in there. What's she referring to there?
What is that? I'm not quite understanding what she said either there, Dennis.
All right, I was curious on that one. Hawk me a cynic while you're in there. It sounds like they're going to get something to drink and someone's telling them have a drink for me while you're in there, but not sure what that was for.
That could be it. Now, then again, I'm not a big Stooge historian, so your listeners and your people that are writing in probably know more than I do.
More than you do, right? All right.
So, I'm going to give you an honest answer if I don't know.
All right. Rodney Wirth wrote in, just watching them every Sunday morning in New York on Channel 11 in the 1970s before Mom dragged us off to church. Do you think it's a good way to get ready for church, watching the Stooges?
Absolutely. I mean, ours was more after school, but every day after school, we rushed home, and that was what you wanted to do. That's what you ran home. You didn't do your homework. You didn't do anything. You rushed home, you got in front of your TV, and you watched the Three Stooges. And then if you got to see the Little Rascals and some of the other things, that was great too, but the Three Stooges was it. And yes, growing up, me and my friends in that era, absolutely. That's something to behold and remember forever.
Sure. Bob Berry writes in, the oil well hoisting Curly. Do you remember that episode?
I do remember that. That was
Another classic.
Well. Yeah, absolutely.
And Julie Bergeron writes in, census takers and disorder in the court were her two favorites, so certainly, I mean, the fans are still loving them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Disorder in the court is one of my favorites as well. And in our live show we reenact the court scene, so the fans that get a chance to see the show will be able to get a little flavor of that show, but that is one of my all-time favorites.
Now, I know you're doing the Comic-Cons also, and I know Scotty from Star Trek, he said when he went for a Comic-Con he couldn't believe it, but he said it'll probably last 5 years, and 5 years later it was bigger than ever. He's like, maybe 10 years. 10 years later it was bigger than ever. He said it's going to go on forever, but I mean, well, what's going on for you at the Comic-Cons?
Well, actually, I've just been a guest to a few of those, but I will be, I see in my foreseen future that I will be there actually at a table greeting the guests and signing autographs.
Okay.
And it's a huge event, and there's other celebrity type shows that are also on the horizon. You know, I talked to some of them, and they're like, well, we don't usually have just relatives. We're usually looking for the actual celebrity themselves. But I'm about the closest thing that you're going to get to Curly, and the fans. It's amazing that how
They just want to touch the Stooges, right, through you?
How endeared they are by it, and how much it means, and how it brings them close to the Stooges. Just meeting me and hugging them and shaking their hand. And listen, I won't take a cent for an autograph. So some of these places say, well, you need to charge for autographs. Yeah, I might have a shirt or something like that, or a piece of memorabilia, but I will never charge for an autograph. I think that it's just something.
That's an honor, yeah, just to be asked, right?
I don't feel comfortable with it at all.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that, but what's the strangest question you ever got asked about the Stooges at one?
The strangest? Well, a lot of them asked if when I was growing up, did my grandfather, instead of bouncing me on his knee, did he bounce me on my head? And so...
That's where it comes from.
I had to quickly let them know that, unfortunately, he passed before I was born. But the most common question I get, obviously, is what it was like growing up with Curly and my grandfather. And unfortunately, that would have been just incredible growing up. Just imagining what it would be like and the fun we would have.
Right.
But just having the DNA of the Howard blood running through my veins, and having my brother and my sister, we've been so blessed, and it's been a
fun ride. Fun ride. All right, so what's in the future for you personally, Brad? Is it more music? Is it acting? And what's in the future for what you're doing with the Stooges?
Yeah, I think the live show is kind of just taking off. We're gonna take that on the road, and bring the laughter to the fans, and then I want to continue doing movies and really music. I think music's going to be the next step. There again, that's what we were just talking about, autographs. I was thinking musicians send in, whether they play the guitar, the bass, whatever they play, they send me some of their music on an MP3. I put down some drum tracks on it, send it back to them, and then we have a piece of music that we did together, and that's the autograph. That's what they have from the Three Stooges. Curly's grandson jammed with them.
Wow, that's magical right there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
All right, so we end off each show with trivia. I got 3 Stooge trivia questions for you, and I'll tell you right now, nobody's gone 3 for 3, so don't worry if you don't. But Before we get to the trivia questions, anything else you want to mention, or?
No, I just want to thank you for having me on the show. I love the listeners. And you're from Boston, right?
Beantown, baby, that's us.
I love Boston.
World champion Red Sox, world champion Patriots.
Absolutely.
All right, let's hear it. The first trivia question. What was the original name of the Three Stooges that they used for the original pilot?
That's a good question. It's not the Three Stooges.
Nope.
You got me. You better cut this part out of the show. I don't want to feel like I'm an idiot or something.
No, but nobody's gone 3 for 3. It was called Jerk of All Trades for the pilot.
Well, you know what? I should know that because on my YouTube channel, that's one of my shows, Jerk of All Trades.
There you go. See? It's running in the family. All right, trivia.
Wait, the answer is Jerk of All Trades. Make sure you cut that in so the listeners know that I knew the answer.
All right. Second question. What body part did Mo break filming Pardon My Scotch?
I have no idea.
He broke 3 of his ribs, which I found interesting because it's like it's slapstick comedy. You don't think it's real, but he actually got hurt. 3 ribs broken.
3 ribs.
No stuntmen for the Three Stooges, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll go for the third trivia question right here, and this one's about your grandfather. Out of 190 shorts, which one did Curly say was his favorite?
I have no idea. I didn't talk to him. I told you he wasn't. I wasn't born yet. How am I supposed to answer that? I have no idea. I think what we should do is take that whole trivia thing out of this thing we're doing because I don't want to seem like a fool.
No, I said nobody gets them right. Nobody's really doing good on the trivia, but maybe the fans will know, and if they don't, then they know. His favorite was A Plumbing We Will Go.
Hey, that's on the live show too. Boy.
Oh, is
I
it?
don't know much about the Three Stooges, considering I'm his grandson and I'm doing the Three Stooges.
But is that where you stand in the tub and you try to block the water coming out of each pipe? Is that what that one is?
Yeah.
That's an excellent. I remember that one as a kid. It was an excellent skit. Well, Brad, I want to thank you for being on Funny Like a Clown podcast. It has been an honor to speak with one of the relatives of the Three Stooges. I wish you well in the future.
The honor's mine. Thank you to the fans. Love Boston. Funny Like a Clown rocks.
Yeah, baby. Keep them laughing, all right?
All right.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right. Not so hot on the trivia, but other than that, hey, he's keeping the memory alive, and that's what it's all about because who don't love the Three Stooges? Everybody grew up on them, and it was simple comedy. You didn't have to think about it. You just cut home, watched them, and made them laugh, and that's why they will live on forever. I am Dennis Wirth, host of the show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Funny Like Clown podcast. Until the next episode, keep laughing, folks, because laughter is the best medicine. Good night.